Shalom. Welcome back. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. I want to say double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and say salutations to you, brethren out there that's pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. This is going to be a quick article from looks like CNBC. All right, the title caught my attention. It says, "We will lose everything. Americans express frustration at Congress adjourning without a stimulus deal." All right, as Congress recess for the rest of the summer without reaching a stimulus deal, tens of millions of Americans are left wondering how they will pay their bills. Though Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said members will return to vote if a deal is reached, they could still be weeks away. Right? CNBC reported. In the meantime, around 28 million Americans are currently collecting jobless benefits, and as many as 40 million could face eviction if Congress does not pass a relief bill soon, according to Emily Benfer, a housing expert. So, as you can see from the tone of this article, man, the U.S. and its people are in dire straits, a good number of them, all right? So, what are you going to see from this? You're going to see more crime, more riots, more marching, more violence, all right? Because Babylon is truly falling. It's failing, all right? Because jobs are few and far in between. And now people have to basically depend on the government just to keep them going. And that's exactly where the powers that be want the masses. All right, in a dependent mode. Okay? Look at this. Look at this. FEMA is now hiring near you. So there's gonna be a lot of jobs at FEMA, man. Putting people in them cages. It says hundreds of readers from all over the country and across the political spectrum wrote into CNBC Make It to detail how the Senate's failure to pass another aid package is affecting them and their families. Many expressed outrage at Congress inaction. Others simply wanted to vent to someone in their situation. They did. When I saw them ignore this desperate need for a stimulus for almost 2 months, I was stunned. Hugh Watson, 66. All right, this is an older person, man, an elderly person, writes to CNBC Make It. Watson is currently unable to find work and lives off his Social Security payments and jobless benefits from Florida, which do not cover all his bills. So this is a situation this guy is in, man, and it's a lot of people in the same situation. All right, they're getting fed up, they're getting angry. All right, and soon it's gonna be to hell with these politicians, to hell with this government, and all they're gonna do is do what? Fulfill prophecy. All right, more uproars of the people. I am still unable to believe anyone could be so callous, let alone a whole room full of them. Here's how 7 other unemployed Americans across the country are faring. At this point, I'd take anything, and you will, and you will. All right. It says before COVID-19, Jane, who asked to be identified by a pseudonym for privacy purposes, made a good living as a waitress in southern Indiana, taking home around $600 to $800 per week. Now, with her restaurant still closed, she receives $141 per week, man, after taxes, in state jobless benefits. Damn. With so little money, her rent, electric, and cable bills have gone unpaid this month, and she has let her car and rental insurance policies collapse. Waiting for Congress to do something, she says, has turned her into a ball of stress. So these people are losing it, man. As Gerald Celente always says, man, when people don't got anything else to lose, they lose it. So you take this single woman more than likely, and you put her in this situation, she gonna line up to take this vaccine. She's gonna line up to take the mark of the beast. These people's hopes, dreams are being crushed, and they'll do whatever it takes. That's the quote. At this point, I'd take anything, what she said, to get back to normal. All right, and the devil is going to offer them what seems like normal. That's what's coming. Literally, the only things I think about are money, bills, money, debt, food. She says, I wake up thinking about these things, and I go to bed struggling to fall asleep thinking about these things. The 33-year-old has been working since she was 15. She says, and this is the longest period of time she's been without a job. She says that if any member of Congress were in her place, unsure of how they'd pay rent or be able to buy groceries, they'd come to a deal. And it shows you that, this government don't love you, man. These people don't care about you, but and I'm talking to my people, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you Israelites, you're gonna find out, man. They're going to vote, all these marching, all this protesting. At the end, the devil don't give a fuck. Excuse my French. It says, I get that Nancy Pelosi wants 600 extended benefits. I love that. When I was getting that, I was able to keep up with all my bills, she says. But at this point, I take anything, right? And she'd probably be willing to do anything to get that money. And that's where we're going. It's going to be a underground economy coming, a sex economy coming, right? Crime is shooting through the roof, right? This is the time we're living in. And here's another one. We will lose everything. Without the extra $600 per week in jobless benefits the federal government was providing for the first few months of the pandemic, Jessica Moreno, 36, tells CNBC it says her check dropped to $239 per week in Washington State, which is not enough to cover all her bills. And there's a lot of these women, man, these single, proud women out there that don't got a man. These are some troubling times, man. A lot of people about to get a reality check. All right, and this is not to bash a woman, but according to the Bible, there's an order and there's a standard. And this current society teaches that a woman, you don't need no man, you single, you strong, you independent. Hey, we're gonna find out. We'll see. We'll see it's coming. One of her children has a rare heart condition, Moreno says, and her doctor has told her working could risk the safety of her daughter. She works in healthcare and would be at a higher risk to the virus exposure. But let's grab a couple scriptures. I might not get through all this article. It's pretty long. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 12 and let's start at 3. It says, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble and the strong men shall bow themselves and the grinders cease, because there are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Right, there is no future. The jobs that are here, people are taking pay cuts because there's a plethora of workers out here, man. All right, now I got a CDL. I'm in the transportation industry, but there's a lot of truck drivers that they ain't driving right now, man. So what that does is that undercuts the people that already have jobs, because employers that are working and are moving freight says, hell, why would I pay this person this amount while somebody is willing to do it for less? So you got a house of cards, man, and it's crumbling pretty quick. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, and the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right? Also, when they shall be afraid of the which is high, and the fear shall be in the way, and an almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and the desire shall fail, because man go up to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. Right? So all you see in these streets, man, is people out here raising hell. All right? Depressed, mad, angry, taking out their frustration in the streets. All right? Those are the times we're living in. And it's only going to get worse from here, to say the least. And that's to say the least. Let's go to, what else did I grab? I wanted to get a story from Genesis. I'm trying to see where to start. Let's go to Genesis 41 and verse 35, because this is dealing with Joseph and Pharaoh. And if you're familiar with the story, it was a famine in the land, and Joseph was elevated to the highest position under Pharaoh. But I'll read some of it. This is Genesis 41:35. And let them gather all the food. Where should I start? Genesis 41:29. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. So some brother posted something about Iowa the other day, dealing with how these tornadoes have basically destroyed masses of crops, man. And Iowa is first as far as corn, soybeans, egg production. All these things were destroyed. So guess what? Shortages in the food supply, markup as far as price and food. All these things are happening. Food banks run out of food. People are lining up for hours, days, just to get a box of food here in America. All right. So these things are upon us. So that's why I'm bringing out this example within the scriptures. It says, "And plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of the famine following, for it shall be very grievous." So things repeat themselves, man. But now it's going to be so much worse. All right. Because this is going to be worldwide. Because there's people already starving because money is not moving like it used to move because of this coronavirus nonsense. All right. People aren't buying. People aren't traveling. Places that their whole economy was built off travel and tourists are now shut down. So you got people people starving in those instances. All right. Now let me jump to Genesis 47 and 13. But let me go back to this article. It says, "Some of us don't have a choice to work and we will lose everything in the next few weeks," says Moreno. "We don't have much to begin with. I think it is very selfish for people in Congress to not think about the children and the families who were already strapped." But they don't care. They destroyed the families. All right. That's why you see all these single women. You see these non-married women. All right. Because they've been sold a bill of goods. You know, that's about to become due, man. All right. This is the first time Moreno has applied for unemployment benefits in her life. She says, and she would look for work if she could, but her child's health takes precedence. As they argue, my family's well-being hangs in a balance, she says. Now here's a guy. It's John Meadows, 28-year-old father of two in Mississippi. Lost his job at Mississippi Coast Coliseum a few months ago. Without the enhanced benefit, his unemployment payment has fallen to $34 per week. He says rent alone is at $800. The only jobs available near him, he says, are fast food restaurants. But the pay wouldn't be enough to cover all of his bills, and they don't offer any other benefits like health insurance that he and his wife and his kids need. I am now stuck sitting here wondering how I'm going to feed my kids, how am I going to take care of my bills, how am I supposed to survive, he says. I hope that we get something, anything to help my family. So people are becoming desperate, and desperate people do desperate things, and desperate people accept anything, man. All right, they are put in situations where they accept something that they wouldn't accept it a year ago, right? So we are definitely in those times, man, and there is no help. You damn right there is no help. The only help is going to come from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for the ones that are in the know, all right? Because if you depend on this government and this system, man, you're going to be ass out, man. Genesis 47:13, "And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt, in the land of Canaan, and the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money to Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, which the money is going to fall again, hyperinflation is coming. Your dollar and your buying power is going to be worthless. That's why you got investors fleeing into cryptocurrency, fleeing into silver, fleeing into gold, right? All kind of things. It says, and Joseph said, "Give your cattle, and I will give you your and Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle, if money fail." And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, right? And Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with the bread for all their cattle for that year. Right. So it's a big what do they call it? Uh, an exchange is going on right now. All right. A big exchange is going on right now, where basically the so-called middle class, lower middle class, anything between rich and poor are getting wiped out. All right. So at the end of this thing, it's going to only be rich and poor, and that's the game plan of the elite. So you can understand, right? It says when that year was ended, they came unto him second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord how that our money is spent. My Lord also have our herds of cattle that is not out left and in the sight of the Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land, buy us and our land for bread. So basically they end up selling themselves into what? Slavery at the end of the day. Right? That's what it's all about. Slavery. So these people were turned into slaves, so you can understand. Now I just using this story to relate it to what's going on right now in modern times, man. People are going to be so desperate in this system that's coming that they are going to be willing to accept anything, and that's the point. But I made this longer than I actually wanted it. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. I'll say shalom the next time.